my name is Jennifer Szczesniak, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about physics prep in the fall of 2020. So I'm going to begin by sharing my screen. That way we can all be reading the same PowerPoint together. So first of all, for a math science person, I love to read. In summers past, when I had access to the library, I could read about 3 books a week or at least 20 books over the summer. And I guess it would have to be way more than that because whatever. This summer though, because the library was closed and up until recently you weren't able to order books, I found myself listening to NPR instead. So I listened to true crime podcasts, just general news and information, and I would do that while I was taking walks through the neighborhood or riding my bike. I also did the Chicago Tribune crossword puzzle every day, and on Sundays there were 3, which was extra fun. And sometimes I would also do the New York Times crossword puzzle. This allowed me to indulge in my verbal side. As I mentioned, I took bike rides this summer. I did walking, lots of downtime, and gardening above and beyond what you need to do to take care of your yard. My sons and I created a vegetable garden this summer, and that was a fun endeavor that I hadn't done in many years. This is my 17th year of teaching at Lyons Township High School, and prior to teaching at LT, I had a career at General Motors. So my educational background to prepare me for General Motors was a degree in engineering from U of I Urbana, and then General Motors paid for me to get my master's in business administration from the University of Chicago. And I moved up through the finance ranks at GM, and I also achieved my certified public accounting designation, which allowed me to become the budget director. I held that position for many years, and when my job was being moved to Detroit, I decided to have a career change, and that is how I ended up at Lyons Township High School. So I have 2 adult sons, both of whom graduated from LT. They are also in STEM fields. The older one is a college graduate working full-time with a degree in electrical engineering and computer science. The second one is a senior studying construction engineering and civil engineering. And they had a wonderful math and science preparation at Lyons Township High School for their engineering curriculums. So you've probably heard by now that Canvas is your one-stop shop, the go-to place before you're going to start any of your classes, and physics prep is no different. So at the top of our page, I am teaching this class, or at least sharing a calendar with 3 other colleagues. I believe there are 8 of us total teaching physics prep. 4 of us are following one calendar, and 4 are following almost an identical calendar. But rather than, this allows us to share the work a little bit, and we co-plan in that we know that we're going to do the same units, we are going to give the same exams, we're going to give the same exam on the same basically 2 days, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday, Friday. But as far as how we get there in terms of worksheets or the order of lecture, lab, or lab, lecture, is why we are teaching in like 2 different groups. So on this top of the page here, you can see my name, Szczesniak. Now, everything official within the tech world and email, you have to use my whole last name, Szczesniak. But I do tell the students, just call me Miss Szczes, and I abbreviate that S-E-Z, and it's pronounced like Simon Says, although it's not spelled that way. So if you were to click on that for the Zoom link for Szczesniak, that takes you to our daily or 3 times a week Zoom meetings. And if you clicked on this car right here, constant velocity, that's our first unit. So day by day, we have a calendar organized in this grid like calendar format, dates on the left-hand side. And my physics prep sections are in the afternoon, so those will always look here on this right-hand column. And I think about the time that you're able to view this video is about the dates that we are looking at the calendar here. And so you can see that on Friday, 9/11, I would have covered the 2-car example, meaning 2 cars are driving towards each other. Where do they meet? Like if they were playing chicken or a drag race. We will also be reviewing for the test, which as of the time of this filming of the video, is scheduled for Monday the 14th. And then the third part is on Wednesday. So in physics prep, there are a variety of different software programs we use, not just Zoom to deliver lectures and not just Canvas to keep the course organized. We also use Google Docs for worksheets, and those are shared with the students. Gmail, of course, to communicate with me back and forth. And the graphing program we are using this year is called Physics Aviary. It is a wonderfully intuitive program that allows students to put in 2 columns of data, their X and Y variables, and then it graphs the points instantly. And it's actually easier and more intuitive than Google Sheets, or if you're an older soul, graphing with Excel spreadsheets. So I will accept either one. For students who don't know Google Sheets, it's faster to start with Aviary because there's a little less to know, but if they're comfortable with Google Sheets, that works just as well. The Lyons Township has also purchased Pivot, which is a bank of dozens, probably hundreds of videos for physics and chemistry teachers of videos and labs that have already been created. And we teachers can sort through them and find situations that are similar to what we would have done in the lab, or similar to something we would like our students to use. And we anticipate using Pivot as well throughout the year. There is nothing special for the students for Pivot. It is an online, package, and so it's nothing extra that they have to purchase. So some of the labs that we have already completed, lab/activities, is something called Speed Trap. And Speed Trap is where students measured vehicle speeds of cars just driving down their block and then conducted some error analysis. Last week we did mathematical modeling with circles and rectangles, and there were 3 different mathematical relationships we were able to graph out of just something as simple as measuring the length and the width of a rectangle or the diameter of a circle. Constant velocity of a ball is what it sounds like. It's just a ball rolling on level surface. And coming soon, which will be after this first test, we will learn about what happens when balls roll downhill. And if your intuition said, well, they accelerate. Exactly. That's our second unit, is about accelerated motion. As I mentioned, at the time of me recording this video, our first test is on September 14th and 15th, and we expect students to take pictures of their work. The test is going to consist of 3 pages or 3 main concepts, and those 3 topics are down below here. Describing the motion given a graph, such as is an object speeding up, slowing down, constant velocity, stopped. Writing equations from a graph, and determining the displacement of an object from a velocity versus time graph. Now, these 3 pages will consist of 3 separate grades in the grade book. And if a student doesn't do as well as they would like on each or any or all 3 of these components, they have the opportunity to retake them. In addition, in the gradebook, we have many formative grades which inform the student about how well they understood the practice material. So students can, the more they do formative work, the better they will be prepared for the exams. However, if a student omits some formative work, maybe they didn't do a worksheet or they didn't finish some Canvas practice quiz, those grades do not hurt their semester grade. It just provides them feedback such as, hey, you didn't do this. Or if they don't do a series of activities, maybe 5 or 6 in a row, and then they do poorly on a test, we'll be able to point and say, well, it doesn't look like you practiced or did the homework, so it's no surprise that the test didn't go so well for you. I am reachable via my LT email all day when class is in session, and I also have access to my email in the evenings and on weekends. So if your students should be doing homework, and they maybe they took a Canvas quiz and said, I don't understand why I got problem number 2 wrong. They can email me. The more specific, the better, such as it was Canvas quiz, you know, worksheet 2, question 2. That way I'll know which question that I'm looking for. Or I really like if students have a problem with something in a lab or online or graphing ways, if they took a picture with their phone and then uploaded the picture as part of their email and say, you know, I don't get this, and then I'll be able to respond right away. And then hopefully, you know, they don't have to stop doing that assignment. They can get an answer from me in maybe 10 minutes to a half an hour or something, and then be able to finish their homework that evening. So again, my name is Jennifer Szczesniak, and I'm teaching physics for, I think I've taught it every year since I've been here, and I'm looking forward to a great year.